I had no idea the British press was so bigoted.
This One's Wife. The harsh light of reality shows they've failed. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Recently, I explained the debacle that has surrounded the award that was recently given to Harry, the Pat Tillman Service Award, demonstrated a shift in the attitude towards the Sussexes in the United States. That shift in view has been of those individuals who hitherto had little interest in the Sussexes to active dislike of them. That it's actually turned people who didn't really give a rat's ass one way or the other about the gruesome twosome against them, that they disapprove of their conduct. This is hugely important in relation to This One's Wife and Harry, because the United States represents the market where they want to succeed. For many, the United States is an important place by virtue of its large population, the fact that it's the wealthiest nation on the planet, that it also is a hub with regard to technology, entertainment, it exercises considerable military power, and for many people, because it is a country that has a large number of English speakers, for those other English speakers around the world, it is a market that is worth penetrating. Invariably, authors, filmmakers, television producers, pop stars, rock stars, athletes, sports individuals, they succeed in their home turf, but they also want to be able to seem to crack it in the United States, for with that comes added fame and increased wealth. The Sussexes have wanted to crack it in the United States for two fundamental reasons. The first, they fucked up elsewhere. They buggered it up in the United Kingdom. Australia isn't very keen on them. South Africa has thumbed its nose at them. Canada couldn't wait to see the back of them. And therefore, with fewer places that would necessarily be viewed as welcoming by them, the United States had its further attraction. Add to that, of course, the hitherto aforementioned attractions of the United States with regard to fame and money. Two things which are hugely important to This One's Wife, as her narcissism identifies those as aspects which attend to the prime aims. Accordingly, having success in the United States became axiomatic for the gruesome twosome because they were running out of options elsewhere, and it really is seen as the place where you can hit the jackpot. They have messed it up. Initially, they were given a warm reception by those that were interested in them, and they had significant opportunity by way, for instance, of the Netflix deal and the Spotify deal. But as time has gone on, the behaviours of This One's Wife, and Harry in tow, have demonstrated them to be a pair of entitled whingers with nothing to offer. No talent, no credibility, no integrity. And the absence of providing anything of substance, combined with the fact that they perpetually regard themselves as victims, became unappealing to the go-getting attitude of certain people within the United States. Thus, people continued not to be interested in them. They weren't converted to the Sussex cause in the way that This One's Wife expected. But then it got worse. As a consequence of the repeated missteps that This One's Wife engages in, and the recent problems surrounding the Pat Tillman Service Award, this has meant that that body of individuals that hitherto were not interested in them have actually turned against them. And this was something that I spoke about as something that I have witnessed amongst those that I have spoken to. Interestingly, what I have identified has been ratified and verified by a recent article in the Super Soaraway Sun, which talks about there being a similar shift away from them. Lee Cohen writes, "Once upon a time in America, Prince Harry and This One's Wife epitomized a modern fairy tale. The charming prince and the glamorous actress had captured the world's imagination and could do no wrong. And in the United States especially, their story seemed like a Hollywood script come to life. Finally, we had a royal couple who could claim as our own, and they moved here too. Wow, they really loved us as much as we loved them. Yet, that was then." Now, Like their trajectory in Britain, Americans' infatuation with Harry and this one's wife has significantly cooled. A few days ago saw the latest episode of Bad Feeling between the one-time HRHs and the USA. Prince Harry's nomination for the Pat Tillman Award for Service at the ESPY Awards was supposed to be a respectful nod to him setting up the Invictus Games for wounded servicemen and women. But the decision to hand him the gong did not land well in America, a country where gratitude for genuine service runs deep. The award, named in honor of former NFL player Pat Tillman, who left a lucrative sports career to serve in the US military and ultimately sacrificed his life for the country, holds a deeply symbolic value. Many Americans slammed the choice, arguing others in the veteran community were more deserving and lacked Harry's privileges. Mary Tillman, Pat's mother, openly expressed her dismay at Harry's selection, describing him as a controversial and divisive individual, and asserting that there are far more fitting potential recipients. Her comments reflected a broader sentiment among those who believe that Harry's nomination diminishes the award's value and disrespects Pat Tillman's legacy. A petition saying he was an unsuitable recipient attracted more than 75,000 signatures. Meanwhile, a Newsweek magazine-commissioned poll of 1,500 American adults revealed 38% thought it was wrong, while only 21% agreed with Harry getting the prize. He duly accepted the honour at a glitzy ceremony in Los Angeles. This one's wife was by his side. But while some in the audience gave him a standing ovation, Venus Williams, sister of this one's wife's good friend Serena, remained seated, a perceived snub. The episode has dealt a wincing blow to the Duke's reputation. What a difference 4 years make. When the Sussexes moved to the United States in 2020, they were warmly received. In a country where monarchy and aristocracy are elusive, they had a status dollars could not buy. They represented a modern twist on royal life, blending titles with Hollywood star power. Their initial appeal was undeniable. High-profile interviews, such as the explosive sit-down with Oprah Winfrey in March 2021, captivated millions. While UK viewers may have cringed at some of the over-the-top and often preposterous claims, US audiences were rapt. Americans don't mind their stars emoting. We don't have the stiff upper lip that you Brits possess. But we have our limits too. Eventually, the couple's relentless media presence led to overexposure, even fatigue. The release of their 6-hour Netflix docuseries in December 2022 initially boosted their popularity, but ended up receiving polarizing receptions from audiences and critics. On the Rotten Tomatoes website, which aggregates critic and viewer scores, it has a meager 19% audience satisfaction level. Critics piled in, with Hollywood Bible Variety saying, "There's an air of duty about the entire enterprise of Harry and this one's wife, as if they're honour-bound to keep reciting their personal story until we eventually lose interest." The Wall Street Journal added, "A viewer really has to be on board the royal soap opera bus not to be bored out of one's mind by Harry and this one's wife." And then came that book. Though a huge commercial success, Harry's 2023 memoir, Spare, with its highly personal negative revelations about his family, damaged his and this one's wife's popularity on both sides of the pond. And it led to a sustained decline in positive sentiment towards the couple online and in public opinion polls. A September 2023 survey by Newsweek revealed this one's wife's net approval rating, with 31% viewing her favourably and 33% unfavourably, an 8-point decline from June 2023. Prince Harry fared slightly better. 39% liked him while 27% didn't, marking a 6-point drop for him the same period. Meanwhile, a January 2023 YouGov poll showed that while Harry, 47% favourable, and this one's wife, 44% favourable, still had supporters, there was a significant portion of Americans with unfavourable views, 34% and 36%. People in the States found it hard to take the demolition of his family, a family we have taken to our hearts, especially the late Queen, who was widely loved. And the incessant whining, Harry and this one's wife just loved to complain. And in America's largely optimistic society, that is a bad look. While some view the couple's openness as a brave stance against institutional rigidity, many others perceive it as ungrateful and divisive. A segment of Americans, particularly those of us who respect and admire the monarchy, find these repeated criticisms disrespectful and unbecoming. So the Sussexes' endless narrative of grievance has alienated many who once admired their candour. Harry and this one's wife's focus is skewed too heavily towards airing grievances rather than engaging in constructive, positive activities. And many Americans have come to find the pair's complaints implausible and inappropriate. This was highlighted by this one's wife's claims of racism in the royal family, which comedian Chris Rock hilariously dissected in his Netflix special in March 2023. Satirical cartoon South Park also weighed in on the couple's moaning in a brilliant takedown during an episode called Worldwide Privacy Tour. This one's wife was mocked as a sorority girl, actress, influencer, victim. You had to laugh, of course. The couple are not completely unworthy of praise. Their Archwell Foundation has made some strides in charitable endeavours, yet the overwhelming public assessment has been that the couple talk more about their struggles than they act on solutions. Then there is the widespread perception of hypocrisy, particularly concerning the Sussexes' privacy, so beautifully skewered by South Park. While they have consistently spoken about the need to escape intrusive media, their actions often contradict this sentiment. High-profile interviews, intimate TV shows, and Harry's tell-all memoir have led many to question their real motivations, further eroding public trust and affection. By early 2023, this one's wife's Spotify podcast, Archetypes, has struggled to find its footing, raising further questions about the couple's work ethic, and ultimately resulting in them parting ways with Spotify. The critical turning point came when a Spotify executive labelled them fucking grifters, a term that suggests an element of dishonesty, which tarnished their public image and could stick. Reports, including from Princess Diana's ex-butler Paul Burrell, have emerged that the couple are being shunned by Hollywood celebrities such as the Clooneys, plus Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom, and have drifted apart from their old pals the Beckhams. No doubt some of these fear association with the Sussexes will alienate them from the King and the Waleses. While they still retain a base of loyal supporters, the broader American public's love affair with the Sussexes appears to have faded. Their journey is a testament to the fickle nature of celebrity and public opinion, particularly in an age of relentless media coverage and social scrutiny. Social media, particularly X and Instagram, have become battlegrounds for Sussex supporters and critics alike. Hashtags including Meghan Markle exposed, Harry and Meghan are grifters, and Harry is no hero periodically trend. Yet whilst it is evident a significant portion of the US public has fallen out of love with Harry and this one's wife, we must recognise opinions remain divided. Once welcomed as royal refugees in a land that thrives on fairy tales and self-invention, their American dream is now a cautionary tale. As the Hollywood glitter fades, one wonders if the Sussexes can reclaim their place in the public's heart. Or perhaps even the most enchanting tale loses their magic in the harsh light of reality. Lee Cohen, who was advisor on Great Britain to the US House of Representatives Foreign Affairs Committee, providing an American perspective in relation to the harsh reality that they failed, that they have not won over the people in the way that they thought that they would, and, through the passage of time, their own behaviours have exposed how unlikable they are, with the result that their belief that they could crack America is no longer. They are not going to be able to turn it around. People will not forgive them. Indeed, the more that this one's wife attempts to persuade people that she is someone that you would want to be involved with, the more people realise that she should not. The typical situation of the narcissist being given enough rope so they will resultantly hang themselves. They have failed, and the United States is demonstrating that they have failed. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.